At our holiday family gathering on New Year's Eve, my mom suddenly blurted out, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Which man gave you the flu?" I stared at her, completely confused. "What are you talking about?" My mom smirked, looking smug. "I knew you couldn't stay out of trouble." Then, she looked pointedly at my husband, Ryan, and added, her voice dripping with implication. "You probably don't know this, but before Emma married you, she was wild. Her dad and I couldn't rein her in at all." My eyes widened. "What are you saying?" Seeing my anger, my mom seemed to get even happier. "What's wrong? Did you do it but can't own up to it now?" Facing my mother's slander, I clenched my fists under the table. "Since you love spreading malicious rumors about me so much, I guess I don't need to keep your secrets anymore. At the dinner table, in front of everyone, my mom continued her endless stream of nonsense. "Emma, you're incredibly lucky to have found a husband like Ryan. Yet, you're still not satisfied, going out and messing around behind his back. Do you think you're some kind of irresistible charmer?" I was so furious my head was spinning. "What right do you have to say I'm cheating? Do you have any proof?" My mom rolled her eyes, airily dismissing me. "Ryan doesn't have the flu, but you do. And you had hives recently too. If you weren't messing around, where did these illnesses come from?" It was true, I'd been sick a few times lately. Year-end financial closings were brutal, with tons of projects and constant overtime, leading to irregular meals and a weakened immune system. But I thought it was all worth it, because I'd achieved my goals, delivering accurate data by year-end. My colleagues even said I was the most promising candidate for promotion next year. I never imagined all that hard work would become my mother's excuse to badmouth me. Facing the questioning gazes of my in-laws and Ryan, my dad chuckled and said to me, "Alright, your mom is just joking, don't take it seriously." My dad always felt mom had sacrificed a lot when they were building their business, so no matter how wild she got, he chose to forgive her unconditionally. And because of that endless indulgence, my mom only became more outrageous. Watching everyone's faces return to normal, she turned back to Ryan and continued. "Starting tomorrow, I'll move into your house to keep an eye on Emma, so she doesn't mess around again." Ryan awkwardly waved his hand. "No, Mom, it's fine. Emma is perfectly good, she won't cause any trouble." My mom grabbed Ryan's hand, glaring. "A man shouldn't be such a doormat. If she does something to hurt you, I absolutely must discipline her. If you can't bring yourself to scold or punish her, I will. I promise I'll whip her into shape." Watching my mom's earnest declaration, I suddenly felt a twisted urge to laugh. Were these words really coming from my own mother? Other mothers wish their daughters well, even if there's conflict between a young couple, they'd side with their daughter. But my mom? She just dragged my name through the mud and then offered to discipline me on behalf of my husband. After the holiday dinner ended, my mom continued to monopolize Ryan and my in-laws, talking endlessly. Seeing my in-laws' grim faces and Ryan's evasive eyes, I suddenly realized I was truly fed up with my mom. I don't know why, but my mom always seemed to find it incredibly amusing to spread rumors and belittle me in front of others. From fabricating stories about me stealing when I was a child, to spreading a rumor that I was having an affair with a professor at my college graduation ceremony. I had almost no friends, everyone avoided me like the plague. But every time I confronted her, my mom showed no remorse, claiming she was just joking and who knew people would actually believe her. Whether she was joking or not, all I knew was that whenever she opened her mouth, nothing good ever came out. After dating Ryan for a year and a half, hiding it from my parents, I decided to take him home to meet them. Worried that my mom would say something detrimental again, my palms were sweating the entire way home that day. My dad tried to reassure me, saying she was my mother, and no matter what she was usually like, she'd surely think of me at a crucial moment like this. When we arrived, my mom's attitude towards Ryan was actually quite decent, and half my worries dissipated. I started to believe my dad. At key moments, my mom was different. But then, my mom proceeded to badmouth me to Ryan for the entire afternoon. "Look, this is Emma when she was in high school. So dark and fat, and so tall. She looked like a mountain standing there. My mom showed Ryan my high school class photo. Back then, I'd gained a lot of weight due to academic stress and had even been bullied because of my size. My mom knew all of this, yet now she was telling it as a funny story. I held back tears, struggling to say. There were so many assignments I couldn't finish them all. Every day after dinner, I went straight to homework, and I wouldn't sleep until 1 or 2 a.m. The doctor said my weight gain was due to hormone imbalance. My mom shot me an annoyed glance. All right, don't act like you were some brilliant student. Then, my mom turned back to Ryan. You probably don't know this, but Emma's grades were actually terrible. She almost got kicked out of college. The extreme suppression of my emotions made my voice tremble. That was just one class I failed, and I passed the makeup exam in the second semester. But this time, my mom didn't even acknowledge it. She just kept telling Ryan stories about my past. My dad tried to stop her several times, but she wouldn't shut up. That entire afternoon, if Ryan showed even the slightest interest, my mom would dig up even more embarrassing stories about me. Some things I didn't even remember, but no matter how much I questioned or protested, my mom just kept talking. That afternoon, I felt like I was sitting on pins and needles. As I walked Ryan out, watching him head to the parking lot, I was even prepared for him to break up with me. But as I turned to leave, Ryan took my hand and said, "No matter what your mom says, I only believe what I see. Our wedding will proceed as planned, don't leave me." My eyes suddenly stung. This was the first time someone had listened to my mother's words and still chosen to believe in me. After the holiday dinner ended badly, Ryan saw I was still upset, so he suggested we go on a road trip for a few days. We chose a nearby rural town. Compared to the city, it had a more festive atmosphere, and the food was fresh and delicious. Ryan and I had a great time there. 2 days before the end of the holiday break, I suddenly received a FaceTime call from a distant relative, Aunt Carol. "Emma, where are you now?" "I'm out of town." "Oh? So you really did run away and hide?" I was full of questions. Hide from what? After my question, Aunt Carol's tone became anxious. "Emma, don't try to hide it from us anymore. If you lost your job and have no income, you can tell us. We relatives can all chip in a little, and you'll get by. Why on earth did you take out predatory online loans? Now, during the holidays, you're hiding from creditors and can't even go home." Hearing Aunt Carol's words, I nearly collapsed. I tried my best to explain, even screenshotting my employee ID from my work software to prove I still had a job and absolutely had not taken out any online loans. Seeing all the evidence I presented, Aunt Carol grudgingly believed me, but still urged me to call my mom right away. At that, my temper instantly flared. Sure enough, this ridiculous rumor had been spread by my mom again. Before I could even call her, my mom called me. "How can you embarrass me like that? Telling Carol you're still working is basically telling everyone I'm talking nonsense, isn't it?" I gripped the phone, a cold laugh escaping my lips. "And weren't you talking nonsense? They just asked me where you were, and I didn't know, so I just said whatever came to mind. How was I supposed to know they'd actually believe it? Is this my fault? Can I control what they think?" Listening to my mom's self-righteous excuses, I sighed deeply. But my mom wasn't done. Besides, with the economy slowing down, who knows, you might lose your job any day now. I could tolerate anything else my mom said, but this statement, I absolutely could not. Who could understand how many rounds of assessments I went through to secure my position at the company among so many interns? Gripping the phone, I said, my voice low and steady. "I'm not going to lose this job." I don't know if my tone was too cold, but my mom went silent on the other end. But after a few seconds, she suddenly sounded excited. "Don't be so absolute. Believe it or not." She was hopeless. I didn't want to hear her rambling anymore, so I hung up the phone. But later events proved I shouldn't have hung up. At least then I would have been somewhat prepared. After our holiday break, Ryan and I both returned to our respective jobs. The morning rush hour on the first day back was exceptionally congested, and of course, I hit every red light. A trip that usually took half an hour to the office ended up taking almost 50 minutes today. Rushing into the office, I noticed everyone looking at me strangely. Just as I reached my cubicle, Mr. Harrison, my director, appeared in front of me. "Emma, can you come over here for a moment?" "What's wrong?" Mr. Harrison's gaze was unreadable. He said in a low voice, "Just come with me." Before I even entered Mr. Harrison's office, I heard my mom's voice. A sense of foreboding instantly shot through me. Opening the door, I found my mom inside, as expected. Besides Mr. Harrison, several company executives were also there, and the atmosphere was suffocating. My mom saw me enter and pointed at me directly. "Even though you're my daughter, since you've done something to betray the company, I have to expose you." "What did I do?" "What did you do?" My mom said righteously, "Last night, you sent all of our company's data to a competitor from your computer." "I saw it all." I gasped. As a financial professional, leaking company data was the gravest taboo. If the leaders actually believed her, I would be completely ruined. Sure enough, after hearing my mom's words, all the executives' eyes turned to me. I steadied my breath. "Last night, you weren't even with me. Where did you see this? And which company data are you talking about? What's the competitor's name?" My mom was speechless for a moment, but then quickly replied, her voice loud and clear. "You're the one who contacted them, how could you not know?" I looked her straight in the eye. "I want to hear you say it." My mom's eyes darted around. "If the leaders don't believe me, they can check her computer. There must be records." Mr. Harrison's face was cold as he told me to open my computer. The data spreadsheet was right on my desktop. The last modification time was yesterday evening at 10:30 p.m. Mr. Harrison's glasses glinted coldly. "Why were you working on it so late?" "Because I thought it might be needed for a meeting on the first day back to work, so I just opened it to check before going to bed." Mr. Harrison didn't say anything, but he immediately revoked my access to the company system. "You'll take a few days off first. We'll let you know after the company has investigated everything thoroughly." With that, Mr. Harrison turned and walked away, not saying another word to me. My mom grinned, looking smug. "Thought you had some amazing job, didn't you? All I did was say a few words, and they told you to pack your bags and hit the road. And you were foolishly working overtime every day. Now you know, they didn't care about you at all." Intense anger brought tears to my eyes involuntarily. I challenged her. "Is this another one of your jokes? Do you know this could make me lose my job?" My mom shrugged indifferently. "So you lose your job. Just stay home and relax. What's the big deal?" "Fine. Since you love spreading rumors about me so much, I won't keep your secrets anymore." When I got home, I pulled out a yellowed piece of paper. "Mom, does this look familiar?" Seeing the paper in my hand, my mom's face instantly turned ashen. The air in the living room turned frigid. My mother, who usually had a sharp retort for every occasion, suddenly looked like she'd seen a ghost. Her hand trembled as she reached for the paper, but I pulled it back just out of reach. "You remember this, don't you?" I asked, my voice devoid of the tears that had been stinging my eyes only moments ago. "It's a signed confession. But not mine. Yours." The yellowed piece of paper was a legal affidavit from 25 years ago. Back when my father and mother were starting their logistics business, a large sum of money had gone missing, nearly $50,000, which was a fortune back then. My father's business partner, Uncle Sam, was blamed. Everyone thought he had gambled it away. He was ousted from the company, his reputation ruined, and he eventually left town in disgrace. But I had found this document years ago, tucked inside an old, locked diary of my mother's that I'd accidentally broken when moving houses. It was a draft of a letter she'd written to a lawyer, admitting she had diverted the funds to her brother's failing gambling den to cover his debts, and then planted evidence to frame Sam. She had never sent the letter, but she had kept it, perhaps as a strange trophy or a reminder of her cleverness. "Where did you get that?" my mother hissed, her voice a low, dangerous crawl. "I thought I burned that years ago." "You were too proud of your own lies to burn it," I replied. "You've always loved the thrill of a secret, haven't you, Mom? You love the power of knowing something others don't, even if it's a lie." "Give it to me," she demanded, lunging forward. I stepped back, Ryan catching me by the waist to steady me. He looked from me to the paper, his brow furrowed in confusion. "What is that, Emma?" Ryan asked. "It's proof that the sacrifice Mom supposedly made for the company was actually a crime," I said, looking directly at my father, who was standing by the window, looking stunned. "Dad, the reason Uncle Sam betrayed you wasn't because he was greedy. It was because Mom used him as a scapegoat for her own theft." My father's face went from confusion to a deep, sickly gray. "What are you saying, Emma?" "Your mother, she worked day and night with me." "She worked day and night to cover her tracks," I countered. "And now, she's doing the same to me. She's trying to destroy my career because she can't stand to see me successful. She needs me to be the wild, troubled daughter so she can keep playing the long-suffering, saintly mother." My mother suddenly burst into a shrill, hysterical laugh. "You think anyone will believe that old scrap of paper? It's just a draft." I was under a lot of stress back then. I was delusional. "You're just like me, Emma, making up stories to save your own skin because you got caught leaking data." "I didn't leak anything," I said, my voice hardening. "And unlike you, I have a digital trail to prove it." The next morning, I didn't sit at home and cry. I went straight to a private digital forensics firm. I paid a premium for an emergency sweep of my home network and my personal laptop. While the technician worked, I received a text from Mr. Harrison: "The board is meeting at 2 p.m. If you have anything to say in your defense, show up then. Otherwise, we are proceeding with a formal termination and a lawsuit for breach of confidentiality." Ryan stayed by my side the entire time. "We'll fix this," he said. "Your mom, she's sick, Emma. This isn't just joking anymore. This is pathological." "I know," I whispered. "I've spent my whole life trying to earn her love by being the perfect daughter, thinking if I just worked harder, she'd stop hurting me. But I realize now, she doesn't want a daughter. She wants a victim." At 1 p.m., the technician handed me a flash drive. "You were right," he said. "Your home Wi-Fi was accessed by an unrecognized device at 10:25 p.m. last night. It didn't come from your laptop. It came from a smartphone that logged into your company's cloud portal using your saved credentials on your iPad, which was left in the living room." My heart hammered. "Can you identify the device?" "It's an iPhone 14 Pro," he said. "The device name is Queen Bee. I nearly laughed. My mother's device name. She was so arrogant she didn't even bother to hide her digital identity. I walked into the company headquarters at 1:55 p.m. My mother was already there, sitting in the waiting area, looking like a grieving widow. She had actually brought a box of tissues. When she saw me, she sighed loudly. "Emma, dear, it's not too late to just apologize. Maybe they'll be lenient if you admit you have a problem." I ignored her and walked straight into the boardroom. Mr. Harrison and 3 other executives were there. My mother followed me in, uninvited. "Ma'am, this is a private meeting," Mr. Harrison said. "I'm her mother," she said, her voice trembling with fake emotion. "I feel responsible. I should be here to help her through this difficult admission." "Sit down, Mom," I said coldly. "You're going to want to be front and center for this." I plugged the flash drive into the projector. "Mr. Harrison, you suspended me because my mother claimed she saw me leaking data at 10:30 p.m. last night. You saw the file modification timestamp on my laptop. However, what you didn't look at was the access log from the server side." I pulled up the logs. At 10:25 p.m., someone accessed the cloud portal from a mobile device. Not my laptop. My laptop was opened at 10:30 p.m. by me because I received an automated alert on my phone that my account had been logged into from a new device. I opened my laptop to check if my files were safe. That is why the timestamp shows 10:30 p.m. I then showed the forensics report. The device that accessed the data at 10:25 p.m. is an iPhone named Queen Bee. It used the saved password on my iPad, which was sitting on my coffee table while I was in the kitchen making tea for my husband. I turned to my mother. "Mom, would you mind showing Mr. Harrison your phone? Just the About section in your settings?" The color drained from her face. She tucked her purse behind her back. "This is ridiculous. This is a setup. You're a tech person, you probably faked this." "I also have the security footage from our living room's Nest camera," I added. I hadn't mentioned the camera before. I had installed it months ago to watch our dog while we were at work. I pulled up the video. It clearly showed my mother picking up my iPad, scrolling through it, and then typing something into her own phone while looking at the iPad screen. She was smiling the whole time. The room went silent. Mr. Harrison looked at the screen, then at my mother, then at me. The disgust on his face was palpable. "Mrs. Miller," Mr. Harrison said, his voice like ice. "You intentionally attempted to frame your daughter for a corporate crime. Do you realize that what you did, accessing our secure servers without authorization, is a federal offense?" My mother began to stammer. I was just. I wanted her to come home. She works too much. I thought if she lost this job, she'd realize family is more important." "No," I interrupted. "You did it because you're a liar. You've always been a liar." I wasn't done. I pulled out the yellowed paper, the affidavit. "And it's not the first time she's framed someone to get what she wants," I said, handing the paper to my father, who had followed us to the office and was standing in the doorway, watching in horror. My father read the paper slowly. His hands began to shake. This was the man who had spent 20 years praising his wife for her loyalty during their hard times. "Is this true?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Sam didn't steal the money? You let me lose my best friend, you let me live with that guilt for 25 years, for your brother?" "He was family," my mother screamed, her mask finally shattering. "Sam was just a partner. My brother would have gone to jail." "And what about Emma?" my father asked, looking at her as if she were a stranger. "She's your daughter. You tried to ruin her life today. Was she just a partner too?" My mother stood up, her eyes wild. "She's ungrateful. I gave her everything. And she treats me like I'm some kind of monster just because I tell a few jokes." "You're not joking, Mom," I said. "You're malicious. And you're lonely. And after today, you're going to be even lonelier." Part 5, The Aftermath. The company didn't fire me. In fact, the story of my investigation and the way I handled the pressure reached the CEO. Instead of the promotion I was hoping for, I was fast-tracked to a senior director position. They realized that someone who could remain calm and analytical while their own mother was trying to destroy them was exactly the kind of person they needed in high-stakes finance. As for my mother, the consequences were swift. Mr. Harrison decided not to file federal charges on the condition that she seek psychological evaluation and stay away from company property. But the social consequences were far worse for her. My father, finally waking up from his decades-long trance of unconditional forgiveness, filed for divorce. He reached out to Uncle Sam, who was living in a different state. It took a long time and a lot of tears, but they began to reconcile. My father sold his share of the business and gave a significant portion of it to Sam as restitution. The relatives, Aunt Carol and the others, soon found out the truth. In our family group chat, I posted the forensic report and a brief explanation. I didn't do it to be petty, I did it to set the record straight once and for all. The silence that followed was deafening. My mother was blocked by almost everyone. Part 6, New Year, New Life. 6 months later, Ryan and I were hosting a small dinner at our house. It was a quiet affair, just my dad, Ryan's parents, and a few close friends. The hives I'd had during the holidays were gone, replaced by a healthy glow. The flu was long forgotten. I was no longer working 80-hour weeks. I had learned to set boundaries, not just with my mother, but with my career. My phone buzzed on the counter. It was a restricted number. I knew it was her. She called every few days from different burner phones, leaving voicemails that alternated between sobbing apologies and vitriolic insults. I didn't even pick it up. I didn't feel anger anymore, or even the need for revenge. I just felt light. Ryan walked over and put an arm around me. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said, watching my dad laugh at a joke Ryan's father made. "I'm better than okay." "She sent another message, didn't she?" "It doesn't matter," I said. For the first time in my life, her words have no power. She told everyone I was wild and troublesome. But I think I finally figured out what she meant. "What's that?" Ryan asked. "I'm too wild to be controlled by her lies," I smiled. "And I'm troublesome because I finally told the truth." We sat down to dinner, the sound of genuine laughter filling the room, a sound that was no longer a joke at someone else's expense, but a celebration of a family finally built on something real. The yellowed paper was gone, shredded and burned in our fireplace weeks ago. The secrets were out, the air was clear, and for the first time, the new year actually felt like a new beginning.